My name is Mia. I am 27 years old, and I live in this small town somewhere in the United States. Since my childhood, I have always dreamed of the happy life filled with peace. I wanted to find a good man, get married, and have children. I pictured a small house filled with joy and laughter, where the family and friends would go to share stories and dinners. My dreams were so simple and so strong. When I turned 23, I met James. It was in that very small cafe in town on a rather cold autumn day. James was 26 years of age. He was above height and kindly looking, with his dark brown hair standing fell over his forehead at times. His brown eyes were warm and gentle, but I think what I remember well is his smile. It never could be a flimsy one. It was bright and genuine, like a beam of light over darkness. From that day onward, we started talking, and by the time I became aware, hours had slipped away. He asked if I would like to go out for a coffee sometime, and I agreed without hesitation. That simple feeling of yes paved the way for a second chapter in my life. We met the next day, then we met the next prescribed day, and several days thereafter. With each meeting, I learned more about him, and he learned about me. We told stories about our childhood, fears, and hopes. James loved to laugh, and whenever he laughed, I found myself laughing too. I felt safe and happy around him. 6 months into dating, I told James I loved him. He looked directly at me and said, "I love you too." I believed him without a shadow of a doubt. Not soon after that, we moved into an apartment together. I worked organizing the library shelves and assisting customers in finding their own favorite stories in this tiny bookstore. James was a baker, working at that small bakery by making bread and cakes. Money was a little tight, but we didn't care. We were happy. There was only us, and that was enough. One morning I woke feeling tired and ill. I thought maybe I had gotten a cold. My stomach was not feeling well, and I was feeling a little dizzy. My best friend Lily suggested that I take a pregnancy test just in case. At first, I was scared. Am I ready to have a baby? But deep down, I really wanted to know. The test came back positive. I was going to have a baby. I felt this strange whirlpool of excitement and fright. That same night, I sat beside a stunned James and said the words. "I have something to tell you," I said softly. James looked at me, genuinely curious. "What is it?" "I'm pregnant," I whispered. James was silent initially. Then he asked, "Are you sure?" "Yes. I took a test." "I'm sure," I told him. He averted his eyes and muttered, "I'm not ready to be a father." I felt as if my heart had cracked into a million pieces. He wanted time to think about this. That same bleak night, there was no sheltering embrace, nor a kiss from him. The following morning, he left early and promised he would call. Unfortunately, he never did. Days passed, the absent reply to my calls and texts. I went to visit him, but he kept the door shut against me. I felt so alone. I cried for hours inside my room, scared about what would become of my life. The things that happened, I am telling my parents. My mother cried with me, and my father said, "We are here for you, Mia." I moved back into my parents' house, where I felt like a child again, and I was about to become a mother. As my belly grew, I frequently went to see the doctor. I got to see my baby on the screen. It was a sight to behold, alongside hearing that tiny heartbeat. I smiled and cried at the same time. She is indeed real. I worked at the bookstore for as long as I could. I bought small clothes and a crib for my baby, just in case I had to be ready for her arrival in any sudden way. Pain started one night. My mother took me to the hospital. Many hours later, I heard the sweetest sound, a little cry. The nurse said, "It's a girl." They put her in my arms. She was tiny, all soft and warm. I named her Sophia. 2 days later, I was definitely ready to go home with Sophia. My mother helped carry the baby and bags of baby clothes and diapers. Our little house suddenly felt so full with love and hope. At night, when everyone else slept, it was me and Sophia whom she cried loudly. Sometimes I just did not know what to do anymore. Extremely tired. My body was aching. But looking into her tiny face and cradling that little hand was all the strength I needed to go on. I changed her diapers, fed her, and gently rocked her to sleep. Sometimes, when the crying was just unbearable, I would sit on the edge of the bed and quietly cry along. I missed James, but I kept telling myself I was not alone. I had my family and my little daughter. That evening, I saw James in town. He walked past me without so much as a glance. Holding Sophia closer, I whispered, "You don't need him. You have me." When Sophia was 5 months old, I decided to return to work. I really did not want to leave her behind, but I had to work for the two of us. My mother agreed to keep Sophia while I went to work. In the mornings, I would prepare a little bag for baby. Diapers, bottles, and her own blanket. I kissed her soft cheek and said, "Mommy will be back soon." At work, I smiled and said hello to my customers, hoping some of that sympathy could be turned into a gift of healing for my aching feet and back after standing all day. I shelved books, guided people to what they wanted, and kept the shop clean. The days were long, but I felt proud for being able to sustain myself and Sophia. Once I was back from work, it would be dinner for all of us, house cleaning, and child care for Sophia. She cried quite often. Some of those nights, I didn't sleep more than a few hours. But with her in my arms, feeling her breathe close to my skin, I was pulled up with courage to go on. The road was not smooth, but with each day I acquired renewed strength. Sophia grew to be healthy and happy. She learned how to walk and speak, and to laugh all the way through. Her smile became my sunshine on the darkest days. James refused to come back, yet I never stopped feeling proud of myself for choosing to keep Sophia. She gave me hope, a will to work, and the capacity to love with all my being. With the support of my family and my own courage, I created a life filled with love, a life with small joys and quiet victories for us. On such a calm night, while Sophia slept soundly, I whispered for myself, "We are enough. We are strong. We are together."